Hello everyone, and thanks for tuning in to the 5th Winter 2023-24 update from GavsWeatherVids. So here we go again, it's time to bring you another winter update. We are now up to update number 5 out of 13. So yes, here we go again, and I shall be getting on with your 5th winter update in a moment. You can see the swingometer imminently. For the first time this season, after 4 updates, you're going to find out where we're standing, how we're sitting with our winter updates. So that's to come very, very shortly now. I'll get on with the 5th winter update for you in a moment. Just to say that the first video release today was our 6 AM UK weather forecast. And we're going to be live streaming at 6 PM this evening, so we're going to have a live. I shall, of course, be bringing you the 10 to 14 there within that, and we'll be showing you long range as well. I'm sure you'll have questions about the 5th winter update too, so first part of the stream, I'll be taking questions, etc. Usual live stream goodness, and that's to come at 6 PM this evening. Thank you so much to Richard for our amazing winter updates gift. Thank you so much, Rich, for our lovely gift. I love it. It's one of the best you've ever done, I think. Thank you so much, my friend. Unbelievable. And of course, thank you so to Richard for the swingometer. You can see that shortly. And also the solar gift that will be returning for this update as well. Thank you so much to Shrine Bruin as well for help throughout the video when we get to sections, but Shrine has helped with. Then, of course, I'll be shouting Shrine out. So hashtag Team Gav. Thank you so much to Shrine and also to Richard Trott, Shrine Bruin and Richard Trott for all of the help on this 5th winter 2023-24 update. I'm excited. I can't wait to start on this one. So I reckon we're gonna do this. How does that sound? So the very first thing, as we've been teasing to bring you in this 5th winter update, will be our swingometer. So let's have a look. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Yes. Did you catch it? 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. There it is again. And we are saying that after 4 winter 2023-24 updates, as well as 1 seasonal roundup, we are now seeing a 55% chance of a mild winter. So the swingometer is starting at 55 to 45% chance of a milder than average winter for the winter 2023-24 after 4 winter updates and 1 seasonal roundup, and of course the NAO forecast back from the summer is added into that as well. Thank you so much to Richard for our swingometer. That is amazing. Thank you so much, Richard. You're going to be seeing a swingo now every week, right way through to the winter forecast. Remember, we're releasing the GavsWeatherVids winter forecast on Sunday, the 3rd of December. That will be the day that we release our winter forecast. So between now and then, you'll see the swingometer every week right up to then. There we go, everybody. 55-45% chance of a mild average winter after 4 updates. Let's see what the 5th update has to say about all of that. Let's do it. Let's start off with the QBO for this week, whilst I've been on station. Again, just to confirm, we are in the easterly phase of the QBO. This is from NASA. We've been shouting. We think that this is the top of the atmosphere in the stratosphere, 10 HPA. This is 30 to 50 HPA, the boundary level of the atmosphere called the troposphere. You can see from the blue-green colour descending from the stratop that we are very much in an easterly QBO phase now. So this will be, as we've been explaining, an easterly QBO winter. And this is from NOAA. And next week we will have September's QBO number to bring you. In August, we went down to -9.88. I would suspect that would have deepened. Might be close to that. Might have deepened a little bit more, though, for September. Excuse me, everyone. And yes, we will have that QBO number for you next week. So watch your space. I thought I'd have a look at some indexes to start off with for this fifth update. So the Arctic Oscillation observed and forecast is looking like this. The black line shows where it's been, with the AO, the red lines at M, where the GFS ensembles are forecasting the Arctic Oscillation to go. We are currently around neutral with the Arctic Oscillation. Looks like we're going to see it going positive through the first days of October, and then might start going negative again, or neutral to weak negative anyway, as we move further on through the first week and into the second week of October. At the same time, the NAO observed and forecast looking like this. Once again, black line shows where we've been, with the NAO, the red lines at M, the GFS ensembles are forecasting the NAO to go. Currently negative with the North Atlantic Oscillation, forecast to stay negative with the NAO through the first week or so of October, possibly going up towards neutral conditions as we get into the second week of October and towards the middle part of the month. Although always on the negative side of neutral, it does look as though we have entered into a rather negative phase of the NAO in particular, doesn't it? If we can go all the way back to the summer with this, you see the black line is generally trending either neutral, negative. It did go positive for a while when we had the heat wave in the early part of September. But other than that, the NAO has generally been in a neutral to weekly negative phase, or a neutral negative phase, really, since right way back into the summer. Remember, these indexes are just telling us what the atmospheric state is doing. They don't drive anything in their own terms. They just tell us what the atmosphere is doing. And so when the NAO is negative, like it is at the moment, they've got weaker pressure around Iceland. We've got weaker pressure, I should say, around the Azores, and higher pressure around Iceland. So that can translate that to the chance of colder weather, especially in winter, but as we're seeing through this autumn, doesn't necessarily guarantee it's going to be cold. You can have it warm with a negative NAO, and that's what we've had through this autumn so far. We shall keep you updated. If we have a look at this for the first time this season, this is how the temperature's looking at 10 HPA over the North Pole from the JMA. You'll see this a lot more, not just in the winter updates, but in the regular updates, actually, when we get into winter. So at the moment, we can see that the black line, which is the temperature for this season at 10 HPA in the stratosphere over North Pole, is trending very closely to the grey line, which is the 30-year average. So nothing overly dramatic going on with temperatures at 10 HPA. What about a little bit lower down at 30 HPA, close to the troposphere? And there we see again, black line very much on parity really with the grey line, the long-term average. So at the moment, temperatures are about where you expect them to be at both 10 and 30 HPA in the stratosphere over the North Pole. This is from the GFS forecast with temperatures at 10 HPA in the stratosphere over North Pole over the next couple of weeks. So this is like the North Pole just here, and of course we've got wider Arctic Circle around there. Mid latitudes are through here. You've got to find UK and Ireland. We are just there. That's the east coast of America, for example. There's Spain. I could go on and on and on. But anyway, that's how things are looking from the top-down view currently. Now, let's run through what GFS is forecasting over the next couple of weeks. And you'll see gradually be blue, because deeper, and expand out. So this, of course, is the polar vortex at its roots in the stratosphere over the North Pole. We see that temperatures are getting colder at that level. So if we go on into the extended range, again, you can see that the polar vortex is getting colder. That means the polar vortex is getting stronger. The zone of wind will be getting stronger as well. That's how we look as we get to the very end of the GFS run, gets us to 16th of October. Widespread temperatures then of around -6. A little bit of warming going on over Siberia, which is slightly unusual for so early on in the season. But essentially, the polar vortex at its roots in the stratosphere over North Pole is deepening and expanding as you expect with climatology at this point in the year. Widespread temperatures down to around -64. So on this scale, that will get that will mean that the black line goes, that's 30 HPA, isn't it? So it goes back 10 HPA. On this scale, that will mean that the temperature black line, I suppose, by middle of October. It's down there somewhere, so it shouldn't be too far away from the long-term average from the grey line. You expect temperatures by middle of October at 10 p.m. Strategy overall pole to be somewhere in the mid-60s by then, so nothing overly dramatic. There for the time being, we will keep monitoring those stratospheric developments. Of course, we will for our winter updates. Okay, let's move on to solar activity events. So we see how the solar disk is looking on our side of this today. From solarham.net, we've got various sunspot regions over the face of the solar disk. However, despite that, solar activity is at low levels and is expected to remain at low levels for the next 3 days. This is the GavsWeatherVids 5th Winter 2023-24 update solar tracker from Shrine. Thank you, shout out to Shrine for sending this through. So the orange line and orange spots depicting each individual day's worth of sunspot activity. So, of course, last week we was having a spike in activity, or the last couple of weeks we've had a spike in activity. It was up there with the orange spots, although not quite getting back to where we was through the early part of the summer when we was up here. We've dropped back a little bit, actually, over the past week. So the orange spots now have dropped down to around there, and the trend line, or at least the 7-day average trend line, which is the red line, that is actually dropped from where it was about a week ago. The green line, which is the 30-day average, that's kind of levelling off that line. That hasn't started dropping yet. Of course, the 30-day average will move around much less than the 7-day average. But overall, a little bit of a reduction in daily sunspot numbers over the past week compared to the spike that we had around a week ago. Thanks to Shrine for updating our tracker. This is the Spotted Days gift from Richard. Richard back off holiday. Of course, he brought us a swingometer. We've got Spotted Days gift as well. So we can see that for 2023 so far, we have had no Spotted Days. And so the current Spotted stretch is also 0 days as well. And of course that compares to last year, we just had one spotless day, which is less than 1% of the year. We're into solar maximum now, and if you go back to the last time we was in solar maximum, you see this is all very, very typical. Is our comparable year 2011 or 2012? I've got mixed up, actually. I reckon our comparable year is actually 2012. I've been saying, haven't I, that the comparable year is 2011, but I think the comparable year for 2023 is 2012. Is it? I'm not sure. Somebody will tell me in the comments, I'm sure. I'll ask Terry. Terry will know. Richard will know as well, of course. All these people are so much more knowledgeable than I am about all of this. Anyway, so in 2011 we had 2 spotless days, and in 2012 we had 0 spotless days. In 2013 we had 0 spotless days. 2014, which was the solar maximum year, so sorry, 24, we had 1 spotless day, and then we had no spotless days again in 2015. It wasn't until 2016 that we started getting the spotless days coming back again. All of this tells us that over the next 2-3 years, we are likely to have every day, really, with sunspots. And if we start getting a run of days without sunspots, then that really will be, worth noting and sitting up and taking notice of. Thank you so much, Richard, for our Spotted Days gift, and thank you so much, Shrine, for the solar tracker. We'll have a little break there, I think, and when we come back, we're going to start having a look at some oceans data. So that's all to come. By the way, when we started this video, or at the moment, we've got 74 tabs open. So we're doing this, old style. We're doing it, we're partying like it's, I don't know, 2017 or something. This is an old style winter update. And we'll see how long it lasts. We've been talking 15 minutes so far. So have a little break, Barry, where you go and stretch your legs, and digest what you've just seen. And when you come back, we're going to go through oceans data. So I shall see you very, very shortly. Okay, we're back and we're ready to resume the 5th Winter 2023-24 update from GavsWeatherVids. I'm a little bit throaty, still, and I'll be having a little sneeze in the break. So if I start sneezing, then I've still got a little bit of cold about me, maybe a little bit of hay fever too. But anyway, it's been an epic 5th update so far. Thank you so much, everybody, for being here, and we'll crack on with the second part of the 5th winter update now. Thanks so much to Richard for the gift, of course, and thank you so much to Shryan for the help a moment ago with the solar tracker. Right, oceans data then. So this is how the oceans were looking when we did last week's epic 4th winter update. We have got our 4 areas of interest. We've got the ENSO region just here. We've got the Northern Pacific over here. We've got the Indian Ocean just there. We've got the Atlantic Ocean over there. Of course, last week we went through all of the archive data back to 1985. We confirmed that the Atlantic is in its warmest state, pretty much that it's been since 1985. There are a couple of years back were slightly closer to where we are right now, but basically we have got a record-breakingly warm Atlantic Ocean. Anyway, that is how the oceans were looking last week. This is the very latest. Here we go. Let's have a look at the ENSO region. First of all, not a great deal of change there, other than the El Nino signature. So sorry again, and when the El Nino signature continues, so over in the eastern portion of the extra Pacific Ocean, where we see some really quite warm sea surface temperature. So most sea surface temperature anomalies, SST anomalies, are moving into the central part of the extra Pacific Ocean as well. So yes, El Nino goes on, and over the past week, probably it's strengthened a little bit again through this central region. Going northwards into the Pacific, what's happened up there? Well, it's actually cooled down a little bit more in this northeastern corner, so it does look as though the cold PDO signature could be starting to come back here through the northeastern Pacific, and if that starts to join up with this cooler area just here around Hawaii and back towards the west coast of America, so let's say if this whole area in the end becomes quite cool, get like horseshoe shape of cool through here, then that will be quite interesting to go alongside an El Nino. That would be quite unusual to get a cold PDO signature with like a moderate or a strong El Nino. So definitely focus, will be on the Pacific Ocean over the next few weeks and months. In the Indian Ocean, so over there, the positive phase of the IOD continues to strengthen. So we're warmer than average through here towards India and whatnot, and into the Indonesian side of the Indian Ocean. Just here we are seeing ever cooling temperature anomalies. So that stark divide there through the Indian Ocean from the warmth over here to cool over there tells us that the positive phase of the IOD is continuing to strengthen. More about that in a few minutes. And then over into the Atlantic, well, again, just remains generally quite warm in many areas, particularly through the tropical, subtropical Atlantic, all the way from Spain right way down into the tropics, looking really warm through there. Hence why we continue to see quite an active hurricane season, even though we've got a developing El Nino, which is, as we explained, I think it's in the 3rd winter update, is a very unusual scenario. Also pretty warm to the south of Greenland, down towards Alaska, a little bit cooler through here. A lot of that is the churn that's been caused by these tropical storms and hurricanes that we've been seeing meandering around the Atlantic over the past month or two. Not yet a tripole signature, still not enough to say we've got a tripole, but if it carried on evolving in this direction, and we did see further cooling through here, in particular, warming through here, and we kept it warm through here, then that would be a tripole signal. This is how the 7-day trend is looking, 7-day change. So in the ENSO region, generally continuing to warm in most areas of the ENSO region. In the northern, northeastern Pacific, cooling down, and quite dramatically so, actually. We're into those sort of deep blue purple colours there, deep purple. It's like 2-3 degrees reduction in the sea surface temperature over the past 7 days. That's quite a lot for a 7-day change. In the Indian Ocean, as I say, the positive IOD is continuing to strengthen. So we've seen warming through this part of the Indian Ocean. We've seen cooling through through that part of the Indian Ocean. That start divide is the positive phase of the IOD. In the Atlantic, generally many areas have cooled over the past 7 days in the north, and through the middle and sort of subtropical Atlantic, there we're seeing quite a bit of warming. Mist cooling just here, quite modest. That's down to the churn of all of the developments and whatnot that we've had over the past few weeks, I think. Particularly cooling towards the eastern seaboard of America. That's quite interesting, you know. So that was to continue again. What if you want to tripod? So you want it to be warmer through here, really, and this cooling you want to be a little bit further south, more through that area, and then warming through here. But it is only 7-day trend, 7-day change anyway. So we should wait and see if this is eventually going to evolve into a tripod. This one, tropical tidbit, just showing daily SST anomalies for the ENSO region, confirming that we are in a moderate El Nino, really borderline strong, I suppose. But most days are coming out. The blue spots indicating each day's anomaly, SST anomaly. So most days coming out between 1 and 1.5 degrees above average. That's like moderate, getting towards borderline strong El Nino territory. Really, it's a solid El Nino that we've got going here through the central portion of the actual Pacific Ocean. But CFSB2 continues to predict that will continue. So current position is around here, around 1.5 degrees above average. A little bit of a drop actually being predicted to take place into start of October. Then it lifts up again a little bit between 1.5 and 2 degrees above average. Again, that is moderate to borderline strong. Before starting to fall away in towards the start of next year. That's a long way off, of course. And still predicting a Madoki as well. Madoki El Nino with CFSB2. So again, you see that dates along the bottom, monthly periods. So by the winter, we're down here in regions 1 and 2, which is in the eastern portion of the equatorial Pacific Ocean. So we're around 1 degree above average by the winter, whereas in region 3.4, we're like 1.5 to 2 degrees above average, and that is what we call a Madoki, or a central base El Nino, and CFS continues to predict that. Southern Oscillation Index remains solidly negative, so of course the SOI is reflecting the atmospheric state, measuring air pressure between Tahiti and Darwin. So that's the column for Tahiti there, that's the column for Darwin just there. Daily SY contribution is just there. You can see how most days are coming out, or all days coming out with negative numbers. That's backed up out a little bit over the past week, so only slightly negative on some of the days. You see the numbers we sell -3, for example. So only weekly negative there on a couple of days. But for that, we have some very, very negative numbers, -25, -26, -26, for example. And the latest day contribution, 30th of September, is -9.09, so then a little bit more strongly negative. The 30-day average, which is this red line just here, that is solidly negative as well. Somewhere between -16 and -14. The 90-day average, that moves around much less, of course, but that is also dropping away. So the atmosphere, we see this through the SOI, is coupled with the ocean, and therefore El Nino will continue, you know, right the way through to the winter, definitely. As I've been saying, the positive phase of the IOD continues to strengthen, so I'm going to do a little bit on that next. So this is from Weather Zone. We showed you this chart in the first winter update, and since then we have seen a strengthening, you know, of the positive phase of the IOD. So when we did the first winter update, I think it was just here. No, yes, we was positive, you know, but not very much so. The latest is that we're just here. Now, this is the last time we had a positive phase of the IOD, and this was back in 2019, in the autumn 2019, and into winter 2019-20, had a really record-breakingly strongly positive phase of the IOD, which some people think may have contributed to the polar vortex of doom winter 2019-20. Well, we're not as strong as that right now, but we are pretty strong now. We have seen, you know, quite a significant strengthening since the beginning of September of this positive phase of the IOD, and we're waiting to see how much further up we'll go. Will we get back up to here? Is this as strong as it will get? And when it starts to reduce, you know, we shall wait and see. But we have seen quite a significant strengthening of the positive phase of the IOD. Forecast models are predicting that it shouldn't get much stronger. So this is from the Bureau of Meteorology, and this is the probabilities over the next few months. So we've got 100% positive IOD probability for the next 3 months. So definitely, you know, the positive IOD will continue. Forecast to be around plus 1.6 in October, plus 1.6 in November, plus 1.5 in December. So the next 3 months basically hover. If we go back here, the next 3 months are basically forecast hover very close to where we are right now. We are very close to like 1.5, just there in terms of the positive phase of the IOD. So we shouldn't see much more strengthening if the forecast data is right. We certainly shouldn't be going like beyond 2 up here. You know, we shouldn't be going beyond 2. So we're about as strong as we're going to get, if that's right. We shouldn't go 2 degrees above average. But nevertheless, the positive IOD is set to continue for the next 3 months. January, yes, that looks very positive as well, 98% chance. By February, we're beginning to see a change, and by March, we might actually be going back towards neutral, with probabilities by then favouring that we go back towards neutral by March. But certainly this is going to be a positive IOD winter, and that will be the first one that we've had since 2019-20. This is Shrine got this for me. This is showing all positive negative phases of the IOD right the way back to 1950. Very interesting chart, but I thought we'd just have a look at the last time the IOD was so very positive, and that of course was in 2019, just here, when we went to, I say, nearly 2 degrees above average there in both October and November, plus 1.78. By December, it starts to revert. Actually, it goes very slightly negative by February of 2020, but of course there is a time lag on being in such a strong positive IOD and then changing, you know, seasonal temperatures, but there's a time lag on the effect that has on the atmosphere. You see the latest number is for August 2023, and that's at 0.71. When September's number is updated, that'll be solidly in the plus 1 somewhere. I would have thought solidly into the plus 1s. So when we come back, we're going to have a look at some analogues. We're going to look at something that we've never looked at before in our winter updates. Actually, we'll be looking at analogues for the positive phase of the IOD. So what could a positive phase of the Indian Ocean Dipole mean? Through reanalysis in 2 seconds, we're going to try and answer that question. So I shall see you with our analogue section of this update very shortly. See you soon. Okay, we're back and we're ready to resume the epic 5th winter 2023-24 update from GavsWeatherVids. So in the last part of the last section, we were talking about the positive phase of the IOD. We are now going to show you something that we've never shown you before in our winter updates, new data, and that is the positive phase of the IOD in past winters. So thank you so much everybody for tuning in. There won't be any more breaks, by the way. We're going to go right way through now to the end of this 5th winter update. So Shrine's got all of these years together for us. I think shout out to Shrine for doing that. And all of these winters are positive IOD winters, positive winters with the Indian Ocean Dipole. The first one to start us off is winter of 1961-1962. That one had a ridge in the North Atlantic going up towards Greenland, had a trough of low pressure through much of northern and eastern Europe, winds going into a northwesterly type direction with that very oscillating winter. So it has some quite cold weather, especially around Christmas, New Year of 61, and then later in February into March of 62, March 1962 is one of the coldest Marches on record, by the way. In between, though, it does have long stretches of milder, stormier weather too, so it's a little bit on and off. But overall, there is interest from a cold perspective in that winter. Very, very overshadowed, of course, though, by the following winter, which is Bedaddy. But Daddy Cold Winter 6263. The next positive IOD winter is 6364. This is just a quiet anticyclonic winter with a lot of high pressure sitting over the top of the UK and Northern Europe. Very nondescript winter. Then we have 6768, our next positive IOD winter. This one has some interest from a cold perspective as well. Mid-Atlantic ridge up towards Greenland, trough of low pressure away to the east, winds often coming in from the north. Got a lot of cold snaps in that winter from a northerly direction, especially in January and February of 1968. Next positive IOD winter is 1972-73. So this one is just a quiet anticyclonic, rather nondescript type winter, not much going on with that one, generally quite mild. We've got 82-83, which shows up next. This one with lots of low pressure to the north, high pressures out in the Atlantic. So this is quite stormy through the earlier part of the winter, especially around the new year of 1983. That was a very stormy Atlantic-driven spell. Generally quite mild through most of the winter, but does get cold in February and sets up a very cold spring, actually, in 1983. But February, also, of 83, does have a Scandinavian high and easterly winds with cold weather at times. 94-95 is our next positive IOD wind. They don't occur as often as you might think they would do. Especially early on, they do get a little bit more frequent, as you'll see in a moment as we go later on. But 94-95 is a mild 1990s winter, really, with high pressure to the south, low pressure to the north, bringing in wind from Arctic Atlantic. And many winters in the 1990s were mild. That is another one that is mild and wet. We've got 97-98 as well. So this one has high pressure over much of Europe. Low pressure is out in the Atlantic, winds coming up from the south. So yes, it's a very mild winter. Some cold snaps, a couple of cold snaps in December of 1997, but February 1998 is extraordinarily mild, actually quite a warm month. We've got 2007-2008, which is a mild dry winter with high pressure over to the south of the country, low pressure around Greenland. Jet streams up there somewhere, so quite an anticyclonic, mild, dry winter. That one. 2012-2013 shows up next. Of course, that was our last proper cold winter, really. And that was also a positive IOD winter with low pressure across much of Europe, high pressure blocking up towards the northern latitudes, winds in from the east. It's a winter that gets colder and colder, culminating, of course, in that extraordinarily cold March, very snowy March too, of 2013. We've got 2015-2016 showing up next. This is an exceptionally mild winter. Low pressure in the Atlantic, high pressure is to the south, winds coming in from that southwesterly direction. So exceptionally mild, particularly so in December of 2015, which was a December to remember from the mild perspective, really. 2017-2018 is the beach from the east winter. That also had a positive IOD. See how they're getting more frequent now as we're going into the past decade or so. So, yes, this is the beast from the east winter. Two cold snaps in December, but the cold really gets going in the second half of February of 2018 when the beast is unleashed. And then we've got 2018-2019, dry anticyclonic winter. This one with an exceptionally mild spell in February. And the last positive IOD winter, as we've already talked about, was the polar vortex of doom winter, PV of doom, in 2019-20, with, again, deep low pressure in the North Atlantic around Greenland and high pressure across much of southern Europe. And yes, of course, that brings the wind in on that long fetch southwesterly, so not only exceptionally mild, but also very wet winter for the PV of doom winter in 2019-2020. So putting all of that together then, this is how all December's combined to look in when we have a positive phase of the IOD. We get quite a bit of low pressure in the Atlantic, high pressure down towards the Azores, so it's a westerly. It favours like westerlies with mild Atlantic-driven weather. Bear in mind there will be exceptions, of course, but generally quite a mild look for December. All January's combined with positive IOD. Again, we tend to get low pressure up to our north, high pressure strengthening around Spain, so maybe a drier signal for the Januaries, but still very mild overall, winds from the west-southwest. And all February's combined with the positive base of the IOD tends to have high pressure a little bit more towards the Atlantic, out to our west. Low pressure perhaps more over towards Scandinavia. So over 3 winter months, I think February possibly has a slightly increased chance of some cold snaps. But even that looks generally quite mild and Atlantic driven overall. And this is how all winters combined are looking with the positive phase of the IOD. Again, quite a lot of wet weather to the north, quite a lot of low pressure to the north, high pressure to the west, southwest, and winds coming up from that southwesterly direction once again. If we combine the positive IOD with El Nino, by the way, and this leaves us with 63, 64, 72, 73, 82, 83, 94, 95, 97, 98, 2015, 2016, and 2018, 2019. This is how the data comes out. So all December's combined with a positive IOD and El Nino combined tends to have high pressure to the east, low pressure to the west, draw the winds up from the south. So overall, a very mild signal for the Decembers. All January's not much different. The high pressure again across Western Europe in a position mode that brings up mild air from the south and from the southwest. And all February's, look away now really if you want a cold winter a lot of the time with high pressure to the south and out in the Atlantic too. Again, might just be a little bit more cold snap potential with the February's, but it's not great, you know. Most of them are generally looking quite mild there. And all winters combined with a positive IOD combined with El Nino tends to have high pressure to the south and across the continent, low pressures out in the Atlantic, and winds coming up from the southwest, so a mild signal for those winters. If we look at the 3 strongest positive IOD winters finally, which is 61, 62, 94, 95, and 29 to 2020, this is how it comes out, with lots of low pressure in the Atlantic, still Atlantic driven signal for the Decembers. All January's combined, very deep low pressure, not surprised with 2020 in the mix of course, but very deep low pressure to the north, high pressure to the south, all looking really, really Atlantic driven. And all February's combined, again, deep low pressure to the north, big high pressure to the south, winds in from the west. So all 3 winter months favouring mild weather. 61, 62 did have some colder interludes, but the other 2 favour mild weather. And the 3 winters combined with a positive IOD for the top 3 strongest positive IODs. Low pressure to the north, high pressure is away to the south, and again, winds are coming in from that westerly direction. So positive IOD seems to very strongly favour a milder winter outcome. We shall see, though. Thank you so much to Shryan. Thank you so much to Shryan Brand for getting all of those years together for us. Right, 2023 Atlantic hurricane season. Next, these are the scores on the doors from the page at Wikipedia. So about 18 tropical depressions, 18 tropical storms, 6 hurricanes, and 3 major category 3 or above hurricanes. I think the tropical depression number is up 1, the tropical storm number is up 2, and there's no change with the hurricanes and major hurricanes number. This is how accumulated cyclone energy ACE is looking from ACE Master Shryan. So ACE is basically telling us how much energy all of these storms are emitting through the season. Classification is below normal, near normal, above average, hyperactive. We go back to the 1800s with this. If we come down to the latest year, to 2023, we can see that our ACE is now sitting at 123.90 after 18 tropical storms, 6 hurricanes and 3 major category 3 or above hurricanes. We are almost above normal now, Shryan is telling us. We've got to put on +3 for ACE required, so we've got to get this to 126, I think, and which I'm sure we're going to do over the next few days. So when we look at this next week, we should be above average for this 2023 hurricane season. You can see we're above the running average, so at this point you'd expect to be at 94.10 after 11 tropical storms, 5 hurricanes and 2 majors. We are above where we ended up in 2022 as well, by the way. So in 2022 we finished up with an ACE of 95.10, so we're already above that. We've still got October and November to go for this season. Thank you so to Ace Master Shryan for updating that. Right, the final thing we're going to look at for this epic 5th update. I hope you enjoyed it so far. We've come towards the end now. The final thing we are going to look at for this epic update. In fact, I'll tell you what, let's start closing down some of these tabs to make it a little bit easier. The final thing we're going to look at is Eurasian snow cover. So, for the first time this season, we're going to be going back through the archives to 1998, and we shall see how we're stacking up compared to past year back 1998 for Eurasian snow cover. This is how things were looking last week when we did last week's 4th winter update as of the 22nd of September. The white area just here where we've got snow cover, of course, across eastern portions of Siberia. This is the latest, so we've seen further gains in snow cover over the past week, particularly in this area just here, but we have also gained some through here as well, by the way. Right, let's close that one down. And so, just keep that in mind, but that is how things currently look with Eurasian snow cover as of the 29th of September. Now, we're going to start comparing back to past year. So, this is how we compare to last year. So, compared to last year, we've got significantly less snow. At this point in September. Very significantly less compared to this point in 2022. We've got more, though, compared to 2020, actually. So, where's 2021? I have not got 2021 up for you. So sorry about that. We'll show you that next week. But compared to 2020, we have got, we see that we've got more snow, actually, this year. 2019, what do you make of that one? So I think we've got less snow than 2019 at this point in September. Let me know in the comments which years you think we're closest to. This is 2018. So again, we've probably got more snow than at this point in 2018. That's 2017. I think we've probably got a little bit less snow than at this point in 2017. That's 2016. We've got less snow at this point than we did in 2016. That is 2015. Again, we see less snow at this point than we had in 2015. That is 2014. So less snow again this year. That's 2013. Again, we see that we have less snow this year in 2013. We've got more snow, but at this point in 2012, though. And then that is 2011. How do we look compared to 2011? Probably quite closely matched to that year, but the areas that are covered are a little bit different. That is 2010. That's quite close, actually. I think 2010 is quite close. Probably a little bit less this year compared to 2010, but I think that's one of the years that we're closest to. That's 2009. We've got more snow this year than at this point in 2009. That's 2008. Again, how do we compare with that one? Got more snow this year, I think, in 2008. That's 2007. Got more snow this year than in 2007. That's 2006. Significantly more snow this year than at this point 2006. And also the same is true for 2005 as well. That's 2004. Again, how do we compare to that? We've got a little bit more this year compared to 2004. That is 2003. So what do you think to that one? Again, probably a little bit above 2003 for this year. We're below 2002, quite substantially so. 2001, no, probably a little bit lower than 2001 this year, a little bit less. That's 2000. Probably quite closely matched to that year. That could be one of the years that we're closest to. Again, the areas that cover will be slightly different, of course, year by year. That's 1999. Again, probably quite close to that one. Close match to 1999. 1998, finally, I think we are below 1998 this year. So we're probably somewhere in the middle of the pack, really, right now. We haven't had an exceptional gain of snow cover in September. Equally, you know, there are a lot of years there that had less snow than we've got right now. So we are probably somewhere in the middle of the pack, I would have thought. And we'll do it all over again next week. And of course, next week, we'll start adding in the years back to 1966. How does that sound? Well, more Eurasian snow cover data to come next week for the 6th winter update. Okay, well, what do we make of that then? You're going to find out next week. Good, wasn't it? Good update. I enjoyed it. Please like the video if you did. Share, subscribe, tell your friends and family about the work we're doing at GavsWeatherVids, all of that, you know, and tell them, you know, about our unique content. You've seen stuff there that you will not see on any other channel. So please give us a like on the video and all of that good stuff. We thank you so much, everybody. Right, so the first thing you're going to see at the beginning of next week's 6th update will be the swingometer. You will find out then how this 5th update has affected the swingometer. If it has, will we have to see a further swing tomorrow? Will we see it swing back towards cold? Or will we be exactly where we was? You will find out as the very first thing that you see after my intro at the beginning of next week's 6th winter update. And we'll start bringing you September data as well, I would have thought, next week too. That's with the analogs, of course. Right, thank you so much to Richard. Thank you so much to Shryan. Hashtag Team Gav, again, helping to make incredible winter update. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching. We'll stop it there. Got any questions about this winter update? Remember, live streaming at 6 p.m, so I shall see you live for that one. But for the 5th winter 2023-24 update from GavsWeatherVids, that's all for now. And thanks so much for watching. Bye for now.